You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, and co-host, Keelan Harvey on Alternative Talk, AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage experts, Tina Mitchell and Keelan Harvey.
You are listening to The Money Hour at 1150 AM KKNW, the Friday, March 25th virtual show. We are currently still running our show virtually. You can also listen to our show on air on Saturday at 3 p.m. with a rebroadcast on Sunday at 8 a.m. as well as podcast. I am your host, Tina Mitchell.
And I'm your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
It is a great day to talk about money. That is what the show is all about, how to make money, save money, so you can have a better quality of life for you and your family. If you are listening to our show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast. We are here to answer any questions or to connect you with the guests that we have on the show today. Please call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. And now in studio, a regular contributor of our show, we have Doug Peterson of Get Priorities Straight, the shocking truth about where your money goes and the habits that reinforce it, right here on 1150 AM KKNW. Doug, welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much.
And a little bit about Doug. Get Priorities Straight, also known as GPS, helps you establish financial integrity, develop innovative personal spending and savings habits to gain financial peace of mind. GPS was founded out of passion for positively influencing individuals, couples, and business owners' lives by helping them transfer their relationship with their personal finances. Their comprehensive processes and tools give you clarity and insight into your financial situation so your funds support the priorities and values that you drive. You will gain control, reduce stress, and enjoy more of what life has to offer you.
Love it, Doug. Happy to have you back again. You mentioned specifically habits. Let's talk about habits, Doug.
You know, habits work for us and they work against us. It's just a way of doing things so that it becomes easier for us. It's more ingrained in our subconscious. And so if we can build good, positive habits around money, we can experience financial independence eventually, and hopefully work for that paycheck optional lifestyle that a lot of us are looking forward to.
Yeah. And Doug, how many people or percentage of people do you think really have a grasp on how much money they're actually spending?
There was an article by Intuit just that came out in January, and they said that 65% of people don't know what they spent last month. And from working with wealth managers, they say that most people are about 50% low on what they think they're spending. And one of the big reasons is that we all have infrequent expenses, and we've committed to spending money on our car repairs. We just don't know when they're going to hit. And so people don't set aside about 20% of what they need just for those infrequent expenses.
So let's talk about, what would you suggest, Doug, as some good habits around money, or habits that you would suggest to put people on the right path?
You need to know where your money goes, or you're going to wonder where it went. So begin to track where your money's going, because if you don't, you're flying blind, and often you'll say, wow, that was an expensive month, or what a surprise, Christmas came up, or a vacation, or an insurance payment that's due every 6 months. We just don't know where our money's going to even be able to plan and figure out what it takes. And for example, everybody's driving a car. I've tracked this for years. It's about $150 a month on average over a 4-year period for everything, tires, brakes, and the occasional thing you need. But people don't set aside $150 per car.
Yeah, and I love it.
Except for Keith. I know Keith does.
Oh, nice going, Keith. Well, I know that Doug actually has a budget and a savings for every little thing, even for his birthday gift for his wife, and likewise she does for her, for him as well. And you know, when you're actually tracking where your money's going, and when you're always having something that you're saving for, you're going to spend less money, you know, because if you just think about how many things did you go buy at the store for $100 and then still wrapped in the package, and now you're trying to sell it in a garage sale. I bet if you were saving for somebody and monitoring your money, you would have never bought that item. For the women out there, how many things have you bought that are in your closet that still have the tags on it? Same thing. So Doug, what is a common bad habit that you see people make when managing their money?
Well, thinking that managing your money is paying your bills, because it's not. It's just paying your bills. You need to be intentional, and we're emotional creatures. When we see something we want it, and we often figure out all kinds of rationale to get it. But when we have a clear picture of what we really want and what's important, and say, well, it's got to come out of somewhere. You want it to come out of our vacation fund? No. You want to come out of Christmas? No. How about going out to dinner? No. You might decide you don't want that thing if you know what you're already giving up. So we give every dollar a job. So you have a clear picture, and it takes all the emotion out of it. When my wife and I are working on it, it's just, well, what bucket should we take it out of? And often we do a little out of each bucket, and we've got $1,500 to fix up the basement.
Yeah, and you imagine now, Doug, the difference between and how worse this must be for people that don't budget because of Amazon and the ability that it is so convenient. I have to stop myself whenever I see somebody with something that I want, to stop myself and not go check out on Amazon at that moment, but to give some time with it. It's just so easy.
Oh, you mean like air fryers?
And, yeah. Well, there was just something today. We're going to be doing some kayaking, and one of my girlfriends sent me a text of something she got on Amazon to be able to carry your cocktails. It's a floating, a floating thing that cocktails go in. And immediately I was like, okay, no, I'm going to wait and think about it.
But by the way, air fryers are great. And when you do have money set aside for household stuff and you do want something, you can guilt-free buy stuff, because you're doing it intentionally. So this isn't a diet. I don't even like the word budget. I like intentional spending plan.
Oh, I love that.
And what kind of feeling do you get? Just like when your house is nice and clean, everything's organized. I mean, there's a lot of stress relief there, knowing what your money's doing. So I could, after the fact, I can imagine just having that clarity is going to just mentally clear a lot of space for anybody. We're talking a lot about habits. And one of the problems people have, Doug, is trying to get these habits to stick. And we have all these ideas, especially at the beginning of the year, right? I'm going to lose all this weight. I'm going to do this. I'm going to work out. I'm going to get healthy. But it's all about habits. So what is your advice to our listeners about how they can make their habits stick?
One of the simplest things was a study that was done about when you decide to do something. And I'm going to get that done. I'm going to work out. I'm going to, whatever it is, clean the garage. But when you decide where and when you're going to do something, the rate goes up 85% as far as compliance goes. So if you just build a ritual into your life, and my wife and I have an hour a week that we don't just work on finances, we handle all of our family administration, vacations, home maintenance, home projects, parties, whatever it is. And we do it in 1 hour and get all that detail done. And we're so much more efficient than just saying, we'll get around to it, or let's talk about this when we're both tired and it's behind. So building a ritual where you focus on one thing that you want to get done and keep that ritual makes a huge difference.
It's killing me that when you're saying this, I don't remember. It's called the 5-second rule, and I don't remember the author, but I've done a whole a YouTube stuff, and she's a speaker and all this. And the 5-second rule is, once you think of something, you got to count down like a rocket ship, 5, 4, and act immediately, because it doesn't allow your brain enough time for you to come in for an excuse not to do it. And I put that into place, and all the things that you don't want to do, and that thing is a miracle worker.
It definitely is. And yeah, it's a gal, I forget her name. It's sticking right on my tongue here, but absolutely. And, and the other thing too, just do the things that you don't want to do first. If you can't hire them out, get them done first. And, I'm a time management business efficiency coach, as well as a local mortgage expert. But habit really is, that's the biggest challenge with helping someone take control of their business, is you have to create new habits. And you hear it takes 21 to 30 days to create a habit. It actually takes 60 to 90 days to create a habit. So you just have to continue to do it over and over again. So Doug, as we're talking about a habit and how difficult it is, how can you make it an easier process process for changing a habit?
Well, actually, if you say it's difficult, it's going to be difficult. So you want to break it down so it's a lot easier. Charles Duhigg wrote The Power of Habit, where he talked about the elephant, the rider, and the path. And the elephant is strong, but if it's a steep path, doesn't want to go up it. The rider can see you're almost over it, but the elephant says, no, this is too hard. So you just have to break it down into very small steps so that you can succeed at it. You can see yourself succeeding. You can get it done. And of course, one tip is always do it when you're fresh, especially something that's harder for you. Don't wait till the end of the day when you've already worn out your willpower, which is a muscle, but it gets fatigued just like anything else.
Yeah, start small and then work your way up.
Yep.
So our awesome producer, Benny, hooked us up. It's Mel Robbins is the 5-second rule book, by the way, for anybody that's
thank
listening.
Thank you so much, Benny. I knew it was Mel. That's what it is.
Yep, Mel Robbins. Doug, I know you work with a lot of people, and you must see these circumstances where you hear about what people think they spend versus what they actually spend. What surprises you when you go through this exercise with folks?
Well, just the disparity. I have had people that think they're spending $10,000 a month and they're averaging $21,000 net going out after taxes. And I've had people that are going backwards $4,000 a month for several years and building up huge debt. And so it's quite surprising and shocking for people often when they find out really how much it is. And it's a little discouraging, but that's when you can start to change because you know what to change.
So Doug, you talk about financial integrity. Will you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's just habits. It's good habits that money is a game. You can make it easy if you just understand the simple rules. And so financial integrity is just good habits with money practiced over a long period of time get amazing results.
Unfortunately, Doug, we're out of time. But before we go, what's one thing we can do or one thing people can do?
Well, I'll tell you one thing, but I got to make a plug because I'm one of Keith Farron's clients. So stay tuned for Keith. The thing that people can do, I know Keith's shaking his head at me. One thing people can do is just get started. There's a lot of information out there. Start tracking your money. The program I use is YNAB. I can do it with my clients, or you can do it yourself. There's all kinds of great training videos. It's the best budgeting software I think it's out there. And start tracking your finances and know where it goes.
And hire a financial coach. That's exactly what Doug does. It's, not a life coach, not a business coach. Well, you need those too, but a financial coach, somebody to help guide you through the process and keep you accountable. Doug, thank you so much for being here. As always, it's a pleasure for us to have you on our show. And I know we've got you scheduled to come back.
Thanks. Great to be here.